Welcome to this session on determining sample size in social work research. We'll explore how to decide the appropriate number of participants in a study, the role of research context, analysis needs, and validation processes. These factors are critical in ensuring your research remains credible and ethically grounded. Sample size refers to the number of respondents or elements selected from a population to participate in your study. For example, in a study with a population of 10,000 people, you might survey 1,000 individuals. This number isn't arbitrary, it directly influences the reliability of your findings. A sample that's too small may not accurately represent the population, while an unnecessarily large sample may waste resources. In social work, it's especially important to ensure the sample includes diverse voices from marginalized or hard-to-reach populations. Several factors impact how many participants you should include in your study. First, consider the nature of the research. Exploratory studies, like in-depth interviews or focus groups, typically use smaller samples because they aim for depth, not breadth. Descriptive or analytical studies, like community surveys, require larger samples to achieve statistical confidence. Next, evaluate the number of variables. More variables mean more data to analyze, demanding larger sample sizes. Also, consider the type of analysis. For instance, complex statistical models like regression need more data points. Finally, don't overlook resource constraints like budget, time, and manpower. These two shape how large your sample can realistically be. Let's make this concrete with examples from social work practice. In an exploratory study, you might conduct 15 in-depth interviews with survivors of human trafficking to understand their lived experiences. This is appropriate because your goal is to capture rich, qualitative insights. In a descriptive study, you might survey 400 domestic workers to assess their access to welfare schemes. Here, the goal is to generalize findings to a broader population, so a larger sample is necessary for validity. In both cases, understanding the research objective helps decide the right sample size. If your questionnaire contains many questions, especially open-ended or scaled ones, a larger sample size is needed. Why? Because more questions introduce more variability. A larger sample can help reduce sampling error, which occurs when your sample doesn't accurately reflect the population. Sampling errors can misguide interventions or lead to biased policy recommendations, something social work researchers must be cautious of, especially when working with vulnerable populations. When you're conducting advanced data analysis, tools like SPSS, STATA, or R become essential. These platforms help process multivariate data like correlations between poverty, education, and child development outcomes. Larger samples give your models more power and accuracy. If you're conducting regression or cluster analysis to predict community needs or program effectiveness, your sample must be large and well-structured. A strong sample allows you to make ethical, evidence-based recommendations in your social work practice or research. Screening and validation are essential for ensuring data quality. Not everyone should be included in your sample. Respondents must meet certain eligibility criteria, like age, socioeconomic background, or service usage experience. For example, if you're studying government nutrition schemes for pregnant women, your sample should include only women who are pregnant or recently delivered and eligible for the scheme. Screening helps eliminate ineligible respondents and ensures your findings truly reflect the reality of the target population. It also reduces sampling frame errors and enhances the credibility of your conclusions. Quiz time. Let's test your learning. Pause the video and write your answers in the comments below. Reflecting on these questions will strengthen your understanding and prepare you for real-life research projects. If you found this helpful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and comment your quiz answers below. Stay tuned for more videos in our social work research series. See you in the next one.